If you've ever gotten a raise, a new job, a bonus, and somehow still ended up with nothing left at the end of the month, this video is for you. Because here's what nobody tells you. Earning more money does not automatically make you wealthier. For a lot of people, it does the exact opposite. And it's not because you're bad with money. It's because of something called lifestyle inflation. And it is quietly working against you every single time your income goes up. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you're going to see exactly how it works, why it feels so justified in the moment, and what you can actually do to stop it. Lifestyle inflation is simple. Your spending rises to meet or exceed your income every time that income increases. You get a $10,000 raise. You upgrade your car payment. You move into a nicer apartment. You start eating out more. You tell yourself you've earned it. And technically, you have. But 12 months later, your savings look exactly the same as they did before the raise. That's the trap. The money came in, the money went out, and your net worth barely moved. This isn't a fringe thing. Studies consistently show that a majority of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. Not just low earners, but people making six figures. Lifestyle inflation is what causes this. Here's where it gets interesting, and honestly, a little uncomfortable. Lifestyle inflation doesn't feel like a mistake when you're doing it. It feels like a reward. You worked hard. You sacrificed. You finally got to a place where you can afford the nicer thing, so you get it. That feeling is called psychological entitlement, and it's completely human. There's also something called hedonic adaptation. It means that whatever upgrade you make, the new car, the bigger apartment, the better vacations, it stops feeling special within a few months. Your brain recalibrates to the new normal. And now, that becomes the baseline you can't imagine living without. So you're not just spending more, you're locking in a new floor on your lifestyle that is very hard to walk back. And layered on top of all of this is identity. When your income goes up, most people feel like they're supposed to look like it. A new income level comes with an unspoken dress code, and most of us follow it without ever deciding to. Now, let's talk about the part nobody wants to admit. We spend to belong. When you're promoted, your peer group often shifts. Your coworkers have nicer cars. Your friends are going on better vacations. The restaurant where you used to split a cheap appetizer is now the place everyone assumes you can afford. And opting out of any of it carries a social cost that feels very real, even if it's never said out loud. This is social comparison theory in action. We measure our financial progress not against our own goals, but against the people around us. And when your reference group moves up, your spending follows, whether you consciously decide it or not. The uncomfortable truth is that some of the most wealth-building behavior looks like being behind. Driving the older car when you could afford a newer one, staying in the smaller apartment, saying no to the trip. From the outside, it can look like struggle. On the inside, it's strategy. Let's make this concrete, because the real damage of lifestyle inflation isn't what you spent, it's what that money could have become. Say you get a $500 a month raise, and instead of saving it, you absorb it into your lifestyle. Over 10 years, that's $60,000 spent. But if you had invested that $500 a month at a modest 7% return, you'd have roughly $86,000. The lifestyle didn't just cost you $60,000, it cost you $86,000 and counting. Now scale that to every raise, every bonus, every income increase you've had in the last decade. The number gets uncomfortable fast. The wealth gap between people with similar incomes almost always comes down to one thing: what they did with the difference between what they earned and what they spent. The good news is that lifestyle inflation is a pattern, and patterns can be interrupted. The first move is to automate before you adapt. When income goes up, redirect a percentage of that increase to savings or investments before you ever see it in your checking account. You cannot miss what you never had access to. The second move is to audit your lifestyle floors. These are the expenses you've accumulated that now feel non-negotiable. The subscriptions, the memberships, the upgraded versions of things you used to get for less. Not to cut them all, but to decide intentionally which ones are actually adding to your life. The third move is to redefine what "I've earned this" looks like. Because you have earned it. But earning it doesn't mean spending it. Sometimes the most powerful version of "I've earned this" is building a financial position that eventually lets you stop trading time for money entirely. Here's the thing. Knowing all of this doesn't automatically change the behavior, and that's not a discipline problem. It's a pattern problem that lives below the level of logic. If you've ever understood exactly what you should do with money and still couldn't make yourself do it, that's what I'm addressing over on my companion channel, the Mind Compendium. I put together a meditation specifically for this. It's called "Why We Spend More When We Earn More" and How to Break the Cycle. It works directly on the psychological wiring we talked about today: the deserving feeling, the identity attachment, the comparison spiral. The information in this video can tell you what to do. That meditation is designed to help your nervous system actually cooperate. Link is in the description. Go there next. And if this video gave you something to think about, subscribe, because this video is part of an ongoing series about why smart, capable people stay stuck financially and what actually moves the needle. I'll see you in the next one.